Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and let's talk about March 7 Hunt version's best team for her. One of the common things that you see all over the internet now is like all of her best teams are just like follow up, and there's some variety of it as of time of recording, of course. The reason for that is she is now just released in an area where we are very popular with break, very popular with follow attacking, but that's not exactly her only best teams. Now, we have a wide range of teams over here, but the first thing that I need you to know in order for us to get more value out of this video is the thing that makes her special is that she links herself with another character. Kind of like a soul bind mechanic, so to speak, where instead you don't like take damage, share damage, or like life steal each other, but what it is she puts this application on one of the other characters she chooses, and how fast that character moves actually directly benefits her as well. And if you think about it in this concept in like big picture, her teams that she then performs best into will be fast and often attacking teams. So these are like 8 teams. If you haven't seen our video on the 8 teams of Honkai Star Rail, I highly recommend you check it out. It gives you like more information on the broad like overview of the 8 teams that you need to do well in Honkai Star Rail as well. March 7 Hunt version fulfills quite a number, like 4 decent teams already. It's quite a lot if you ask me. Fast and often, probably my favorite out of all of them because of that linking, so-called like linking mechanic that her Shifu does and stuff like that, the ability that she has. Break, she's also very strong in break. She offers a break effect buffing, as you can see over here, increases crit damage. So hyper carry, she also helps hyper carry. She acts as a buffer for a particular unit. At the same time, she can also be played as a hyper carry, which we will touch on in this video in a little bit too. So break, hyper carry, fast often. Follow attacking is the one that you're going to see most common. I put it in dotted here because it's what everyone has, the resources everyone has right now. But is it the best? Is it the only team? It's one of the teams, but I think there are better ones as well. So let's first things first, start off with fast and often teams, which I personally think is like her best in slot teams out of all of the different teams in Honkai Star Rail for March 7 Hunt version. So here, the one that I think is one of the most underrated, maybe because people didn't pull her, she hasn't been around for the longest period of time as well, and she has just been out of the meta in the entire game, is actually a character like Dela. She is super underrated, especially if she can hit units and go again. Kill units, go again. A well-built Dela will just keep acting non-stop, super fast. I will put like some of my videos up on screen. It is a slightly well-invested Dela, as you guys might know already from the channel. But it is quite fun. March 7 as well as Dela, they work very well together because she moves super often. Dela giving her tons of stack. March 7, like it's tons of stacks. That allows you to actually play into stuff. For example, into many different varieties of characters you want to play. You can play Robin, who is also very good. A lot of people like Robin, a lot of people have Robin, but any other character that if you think about it, what is a fast and often team? Fast and often teams means you want your characters to move as quickly as you can, to hit as fast as you can, so you just keep using your basic attack, skill, ultimate, whatever it is to get the maximum amount of stacks. Dela does that. Characters like Asta have team-wide speed push. So you push March 7 plus you push your the person that you allocate the Shifu buff as well. And you have characters like Bronya, Sparkle who do buffing, pushing. Again, Robin pushes the entire team. Speed modifiers, for example, like Hanya, or even energy funnelers like Tingyun. These are all characters that do very well. And just a quick digress, this is actually one of the teams that Ranmei doesn't perform as good in compared to a lot of the other Harmony characters, because Ranmei doesn't push teams at all unless you use like the dance like Kun. So in future, if this is like the first stone that they're trying to put in to more fast and often teams, that could be one of the things in the long run how we plan to deviate away from our Ranmei meta. I'm just thinking out loud, but let's go on with the video, which, sorry for digressing as well. Utility is quite flexible. You can play a lot of characters in the utility slot, and I would say it's depending on what is the character that you're playing here in the synergy slot. I know I'm just putting like Dela here, for example, but you can really play with a lot of other characters in the game. For example, like Shu Shang, who attacks quite often, similar style to Dela. You want characters that move fast by basic attacking, have some sort of like push in their ultimate, which Shu Shang has, and then they can keep going again to build up that stacks to get the maximum value. Characters like Ho Ho gives energy towards the entire team, so more energy for everyone means you like buff them up, they all can act even more as well. And she sustains the entire team. But pretty much most other sustains are depending on what you have in these 2 slots. Generally right now we don't have like a whole team-wide push utility character. Hopefully in future But the one that is very interesting that I want to talk about would be Robin, because this, although it lasts in the fast and often teams, here in this team composition will be decent as well, but this is more of like filling another category, which is more of the follow-up, which we'll touch on in a bit. But Robin, or Topaz and Nambi, is another character that can fulfill very well, because every time Nambi is the pick, right? Every time Nambi attacks, you get a stack also. Every time Topaz moves, you get a stack. So she actually does a lot. The question is, can you proc the Nambi to move enough? That's the biggest question, and brings us to our next point, which is FUA teams, follow-up attacking teams. This is the one that you will see everywhere over in the community. You see everyone's playing Mark 7 with a variety of these. But I think the fast and often team is the one that is really important to know. It's the focus, because it changes how the game is moving forward. It's like the first drop in the bucket of maybe changing away from a follow-up attacking break effect kind of playstyle. It's early signs, and Hoyoverse tends to do this. They always like to do in the early days, like drop a 4-star, for example, like Harmony MC, see whether people like it. If people like it, they will do more of that playstyle. So I think we might see some interesting things with this Hunt March 7 addition into the game as well. So for synergy slot, for what we have here, we have Topaz and Nambi here, as we mentioned. What you will see very often, a lot of places, people that are playing with March 7 right now, I know not all of you have like all these limited 5 stars. It's super expensive, right? So I'll have tons of like free to play 4-star options. That's what this video aims to do, and we always do this kind of best teams video on the channel, which aims to have teams, at least one team for you in this entire video. It'll be dedicated for your account, and so you don't have to worry about whether you have the character or not. The best team right now for follow-up probably will be Topaz and Nambi, Robin, and Aventurine. In this case, she is more or less like working as a pseudo doctor ratio, if you think about it. If those of you who joined slightly later, you didn't get the free doctor ratio, and you see everyone playing follow-up teams, March 7 Hunt is actually a pretty okay replacement for doctor ratio in these kind of teams, so don't feel like too left out or anything for that matter. And then you have Robin, you have Aventurine. Ronmei is also like a decent alternative if you do not have a character like Robin, as we know in the very popular team as well. So another thing that a lot of people don't think about in follow-up team compositions is that there are two types of follow-up attacking teams. The first type is Topaz and Nambi kind of style, where the faster you go, the faster you move, the more hits you get on the enemy, the more follow attacks you dish. Is very, very traditional follow attacking. The second type of follow attacking teams is actually the latter, the one that you see right below here, a counter follow attacking team. So what's the key difference between these two? Clara and Yunli, for example, rely on how fast the enemy moves. If the enemy is like super fast, maybe we get a boss that acts every single turn like 5 times, 10 times, then they counter a lot. They keep countering, so you get a lot of actions out of these characters also. So that is another angle of things that people are not thinking of right now in the game state, because we don't have maybe the boss that attacks like super fast. But if we have more of such bosses in future, this team will rise in relevance, especially with a character like March 7 Hunt, which relies on characters moving, attacking, ultimate. I think this is also another team to keep an eye out on. If you don't have any of these two units, they might be releasing more counter-based units in future too, because it's quite in line. If they move faster enemies, counter characters they want to sell with a soul linking kind of character, I think it might work out overall. And of course, you have supports for these units will be like links, where you draw aggro on a particular character that you can build for. And at this point, I want to cover a bit of a topic on some people are actually talking a lot about doctor ratio team composition instead of a character like Topaz and Nambi. I think it's okay to run doctor ratio because he still does quite a lot of action. He's a hunt character, so he has a lot of access to like follow up. But the one big problem about running Mark 7 hunt and doctor ratio, that's why I put it slightly in grey. It needs you to have the specific units, specific criteria being met. You need to have more characters able to land the debuff. If you do not have Aventurine, you don't have like characters like Gallagher to land debuffs on the enemy, Mark 7 offers you nearly nothing to help him proc his debuffs. So which means you are very restricted and require debuffing specific characters, for example like Silverwolf as well as Pella. And I apologize for any colorblind folks over here. I will tell you the ones that are grey scale is the Doctor Ratio, Silverwolf and Pella. The reason why I put them in this color is because they are not exactly the best, but people want to form teams around them, and in the long run I don't think it's going to be optimal because you are restricting yourself to a Doctor Ratio, Pella as well as Silverwolf just to force in the proc. She's much better in other team competitions, but I understand that some people want to build teams for a double imaginary, so I want to be here for you guys to help you go. So I will go with a debuffing here to help you proc a little bit more on Dr. Ratio's abilities too. So next up, we have break teams. So we are already, let me just go back here real quick. We have we touched on 2 teams, fast and often, follow attacking. What we are left is break, hyper carry, and of course a free-to-play team that I want everyone to be able to get in and enjoy a bit. Break and hyper carry, they are actually tied closer than we might think. So in this team composition here for break, the first one that everyone is going to think about is, of course, Harmony MC as the main synergy. This is excellent for free-to-play units because Harmony MC, totally for free, just have to do the story, you can get it as well. Harmony MC works nicely with a character, for example, like Mark 7 Hunt. Why is that? Harmony MC can actually be the Shifu as well. And when you put the buff on Harmony MC, and she will get an increased toughness breaking, which synergizes very well for that like super break thing. In my opinion, like the only hyper carry team that makes sense in like the super late game will probably be a variant of Mark 7 super break kind of team together with Harmony MC. If you have a character like Runmei, you accelerate, you push that up even more. I think it also works. And Gallagher is a character that scales off with, of course, break, very strong too. Maybe the upcoming character, Abundance character, maybe might also scale with break. In that case, you can put them here. In any other future characters, as you can see, can really fit into one of these categories that we are fitting on. That's why I'd like to teach on concepts rather than just, oh, play this, play that, play this, play that. Because what happens if new characters come out, right? They might change quite significantly. And this is probably the team that I would consider like hyper carry Mark 7, if you have it. Otherwise, I think another solid break team that a lot of people might not be thinking out of right now is actually using a character like Sherry. Now I know I'm like the #1 Sherry salesman when she first got a buff with Harmony MC, but in this case, she's also quite strong here. Why is that the case? If you think about Sherry's kit, she scales with break, she scales with speed, and she also scales with crit damage. All of them, Mark 7 can provide the Shifu effect. You can either put it on Sherry, you can put it on Harmony MC, depending on whether you want Mark 7 to be your main damage dealer, or are you trying to buff up another character. Sherry is super strong. If you haven't seen our video on how Sherry can actually stomp a lot of content, do check it out. We touched a lot on her already, but I think this is one team that especially you are running like 2 free characters. Sherry is also free, so 3 free characters, but it's Gallagher, which is a little bit of gacha, but you can pretty much make do with most characters, and you will have actually a very strong team composition to get into the break meta. If you're trying to like just feel whether you like break or not, to cover one of the team composition angle, because it's quite a lot of resources for new players to have all 8 categories. And of course, at this point, let's touch on the final one, which is very similar to what we touched on, but I want to talk about new player teams. Since there are so many different categories, the first and easiest one, if you don't really want to get in too much with mechanics, and any of you experienced players, feel free to like leave a comment below whether you like this new format, and also help new players out, because I'm sure we were once always very lost, and you definitely appreciate someone to like share with you more information that maybe I personally have missed out as well. First, on top here, Susang. Is Susang free? No, Susang is not free. So I'll put it in smaller boxes here, and I'll put a character that is like fast moving. The logic here is you want a fast moving character that attacks very often. Susang is, of course, I think gacha, and you have a free character like Esther. She pushes everyone up to help everyone act more faster by giving speed to the entire team. So this is like a speed focused team to help Mark 7 maximize her passive ability to get most out of the stacks that she can get. Utility, of course, we have 2 characters that are free. Both of them I think are okay. There's no like real niche character that you want to play. And in terms of synergy slot, Harmony MC again. Top row is the traditional like attack faster kind of thing. Bottom row is if you don't mind a bit more ambitious, you don't mind like trying a little bit of break effect, I think Harmony MC could also be quite good to try out too. And of course, when you play Harmony MC, you have Gallagher, you can play on. He's a bit of gacha if you have, otherwise you can just like go with the 2 free ones, it should be fine. For now, I don't think the utility slot is like super critical make or break account. You will probably be fine with any of these 2 for a new player especially. And of course, last but not least, Sherry is probably a good one. She is a free character you can get, and a good DPS that scales pretty well with time, and she's colorless breaking, which means she can attack any element. And if you're a new player building these team compositions, I'm pretty sure that you're a quite good steed to continue on, at least into middle and late game as well, saving you some resources so you don't have to pull so many limited characters that you see everyone else pulling, and that's all the characters people recommend. But anyways, I hope you found something helpful in this video, hope you find it a little bit useful, and do check out the Sherry video right here. If you're a new player or you're a person that has never played her before, I teach you how to play this character to her fullest potential. And thank you guys again so much for watching. Very nice to see you, and see you in the next video.